All right, so I don't know if you guys saw, but Donald Trump was named Person of the Year.
Oh, he was officially named Person of the
Year?
Year?
Yeah, he was named Person of the Year.
So funny. Time Magazine just chasing that Hitler clout.
Well, I mean, this is well, okay. So I saw the Hitler clout. All right, remind me of that. Actually, I have something to say about that. All right, so I saw this post. I think it was on Twitter or something, and it said, "Should Donald Trump have been Person of the Year?" I was like, "Who else would it be?" I'm like, you tell me a better candidate for what? Taylor Swift? Who are we going to name Person of the Year in 2024? I can't think of someone. I mean, look, Donald Trump has cemented himself into our brains. Everyone on Earth, well, everyone in the United States will remember Donald Trump till the day they die. They will. He's a two-term president now. I mean, I would have a hard time arguing anyone else who deserved that title than Donald Trump. Doesn't mean you like him. Doesn't mean he's a good person. But I'm open for candidates for who would be.
Okay. Well, before I start listing candidates, I want to know what are the requirements for Person of the Year? Like, what's the
Time Magazine says you are?
No, well, mine. Like my personal was like biggest story of the year. Donald Trump winning the election. When I was like, I don't know how to phrase this, but we didn't expect him to win, and we're pretty in the know here. And like, common sense says he shouldn't have won, and he fucking did. Like we would talk about how the Republican Party was out of money. We would talk about like all the insane shit he said after January 6th, after 34 convictions, 91 indictments, and still fucking won. I'd love to see anyone else stack up against that for a Person of the Year. I don't know how you can't.
I have somebody. I think if we're really talking about Person of the Year in terms of who has made the biggest impact socially, globally, it's actually like Elon Musk. It's not
okay. That's a good one.
It's not much of a contest.
Okay. All right.
They're like, let's not forget that part of the reason, and I would say a very substantial part of the reason Trump is president is because of Elon Musk. It's like he controls one of the biggest social media platforms and one of the biggest sort of like communication platforms on the planet. And he used it. He bought it for, what was it, like 80 billion or something like that, and used it to get a man elected for presidency. He's built different. That's Person of the Year material as far as I'm concerned.
That's a good one. Yeah, Elon Musk would be. Yeah, that's probably a better choice. Actually, now that you say it, put that argument there. I wasn't expecting that, but yes, Elon Musk would have been a better choice, I think. What do you think, John?
So I agree that's probably the best argument that isn't Donald Trump.
Yeah,
agreed.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing, TJ.
He said agreed.
If I owned a publication, if I owned a magazine, which it was infamously named Adolf Hitler Person of the Year, I would spend the rest of my years attempting to not ever again name someone who might ever become Adolf Hitler level infamous as Person of the Year. And so, I don't know. I would have avoided Donald Trump there, and I would have maybe given it to Elon. But like, I'm sure. Here's the thing. You don't have to do this because you're right. But in terms of like, clout and impact and everything, but I'm sure you could have found, I don't know, some fucking scientist somewhere that like did something that is gonna, revolutionize some shit somewhere. I don't know. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't risk it because like, what is your upside here naming him Person of the Year? Like, what is your upside?
Well, your upside.
You're gonna sell some magazine. You think fucking Trump supporters going out to buy Time magazine?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Well, do you think any scientist is selling magazines? I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. Who fucking buys Time magazine? You have a very good point, TJ.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, and would we be talking about a random scientist? It's like, it's not going to happen. So it's like when people get mad about like man or like sexiest man alive or Caitlyn Jenner as Woman of the Year, it's all to generate buzz and everything. But as far as justifiable choices, Trump's a pretty good one. You'd have a hard time. I'll say brought up a good one, doing better than that.
But that's kind of my question, though. My question is, just sincerely, what are the fucking requirements for Person of the Year for Time? Like, is it just about impact or just about who's talking about this person or sort of like what they are in the zeitgeist of this year, or like are there any moral standards? I mean, clearly there aren't any moral standards because they got Hitler and now they got Hitler 2.0. But is that just it? Is it just ranking popularity based on sort of like how how influential you were this year. And if that's the case, if that's really what person of the year is, and then Trump got it. I can't even be mad at it. Why wouldn't they pick Trump? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. One thing I don't like, so it used to be like Hitler didn't win person of the year. Hitler won man of the year because that's what it was called back then. And I remember when they changed it from man of the year to person of the year, I didn't like that. I still don't actually. I wish that it was man of the year or woman of the year if it's a woman winning it, because it just person of the year sounds like shit. It sounds terrible. I hate it. Doesn't roll off the tongue. It's awful. So that's my boomer take right now, is that I want man of the year back, and if it's a woman, woman of the year. I just like how it sounds, you know.
Whichever it is, just it's woman of the year or man of the year. Every year there's just one, and it can be whatever you want it to be. Or that year where they said you're the
my god, do you remember that?
That was so frustrating.
So stupid. The person of the year is you. That? Oh, I don't know, but
I think it was like 2016 or something. They didn't want to give it to Trump, so they said you or something like that.
I think it was before that, because it's like you, the American citizen or something, was person of the year. It was dog shit. I know, right? So I didn't like that. You find it,
2006.
2006. Yeah. It was a while ago, but yeah. And so another one. The reason I said to remember the Hitler thing was Time magazine named Hitler man of the year in 1938 or 39, but there was another magazine that also named Hitler man of the year, and that was Homes and Gardens magazine. I don't know what year that was, but it was like in the 30s or something, and they named Adolf Hitler person of the year. And a lot of people will use this bit of trivia and they'll get it wrong. They'll say that Hitler was named man of the year by Better Homes and Gardens. It's not true. It was Homes and Gardens. And when I found this out, I was like,
Better Homes and Gardens knew better.
So you know what? Well, so what I wonder is, like, I've never heard of Homes and Gardens. I've heard of Better Homes and Gardens, right? And so I thought, did they change their name from Homes and Gardens to Better Homes and Gardens, or did they have Homes and Gardens and someone else came along and started Better Homes and Gardens? That's
what asking happened. All the real questions.
That's what happened. So good. Someone came along and came up with Better Homes and Gardens. And I don't know if they did this, but I mean, in my heart, I wish they would have done this. Is that, hey, what makes us better? We did not name Adolf Hitler person the man of the year. That's why we're Better Homes and Gardens. So,
thank you guys so much. You made it to the end of the video. I'm really glad about that. But what I'm really glad about is that I didn't have to explain about any intersectionality with Black people in the Cold War. So if you want to hear more about that sort of thing, how about DestructoJuugo? Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram now, dude. I'm taking myself seriously as a content creator, if you haven't heard. And I am starting to, and this is a really cool announcement, I am starting to work on long form video essays on YouTube that will go into the politics of whatever movie I'm interested in talking about. Right now, what I'm working on is the politics of the video essay that I'm working on is a 3-part video essay about Spider-Man, and more specifically the live action Spider-Man movies and how each of them differ in the depiction of Uncle Ben's death. I find something really interesting about Spider-Man 1's depiction of Uncle Ben's death, because the Uncle Ben moment is supposed to be this moment where Spider-Man sort of like realizes his potential as a hero, and so as a result, us as the audience is supposed to sort of realize our potential as people, as people that could affect positive change in the world. But Uncle Ben dies trying to stop a robber. And I find that really interesting, because juxtaposed with the MCU's version of Uncle Ben, which is actually Aunt May in Spider-Man Far From Home, she dies not trying to stop a robber, which is silly, but trying to rehabilitate a supervillain. And so there's subtle political differences, not even subtle. They're not so subtle political differences between how those two Uncle Bens and the messages that come from those sacrifices. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. So I'm really excited to write it. Follow the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, and stay tuned.
Fantastic. Look forward to it. We appreciate you coming on, Ate. DestructoJuugo, Ate, fantastic. I would say he is our second favorite guest host. Our favorite guest host actually joined us on December 4th from the hours of 6 a.m. Eastern time to 9 a.m. Eastern time. Man named Luigi Mangione. If you guys want to check out that video, it's private on YouTube right now, but he was in studio recording it with us. It was fantastic. So check that out. Thank you guys. We'll catch you later.